In this lesson, we're going to learn how to simplify algebraic fractions. Okay, here's a question. The question reads, simplify the following fractions. Okay, question letter A, you're given the expression x squared minus y squared divided by 3 multiplied by 6x minus 3y divided by x cubed plus y cubed. Okay, what we have to do before we can multiply the two fractions is that we have to factorize the expressions that we have on our numerators and denominators. Okay, so we're going to look at the first fraction. The numerator that we have in this case is x squared minus y squared. So this expression has to be factorized. So in this case, you can see that we have a difference of 2 squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to open we're going to write two brackets, and then to get x squared we've multiplied what x by x. To get y squared we've multiplied y squared. So we have to allocate our signs in such a way that the first y variable, when multiplied by the second y variable from the second fraction, will give us what? Negative y squared. So we have to make one y variable positive, and then the other y variable, it has to be negative. Okay, so this is how we factorize our expression. So we're going to divide this by 3, then we write multiplied by, and then we go to the second fraction. On the second fraction, the expression that we have on our numerator can also be factorized. So how can we factorize this expression? We can factorize it by taking out a common factor. So the common factor that we can take out in this case is what? Positive 3. So positive 3, we're going to take out positive 3 as our common factor. So to get 6x, we've multiplied 3 by 2x, and then to get negative 3y, we've multiplied 3 by negative y. Then our expression factorized is going to be 3 multiplied by, in brackets, 2x minus y. Okay, so we have to look at the expression that we have on our denominator. The expression is x cubed plus y cubed. In this case, you have the sum of two cubes. So there's a formula or an identity that we use to factorize the sum of two cubes. The identities states that you have to take the basis of the two cubes. Don't forget that from the cubes you have what? Powers, and a power has a base and an exponent. So you're going to take the sum of the two bases, the sum of the bases of our two cubes, and then we'll write that in the first bracket. So in the first bracket we're going to have what? X plus y, and then we open the second bracket, we multiply and open the second bracket. In the second bracket, what we're going to do first is that we're going to take the square of the first base. So the first base is x, so we're going to take the square of x. We're going to take x and square it, and then the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to subtract this by the product that we're going to get when we multiply the two bases. So in this case, we're going to multiply x by y, which will give us what? Xy. Don't forget, you always have to write your product in such a way that the variables are arranged alphabetically. Okay, when we're done with that, we have to take the square of what? The square of the second base from the second, so we have to take the square of the base from the second cube, which is what? Y cubed. So we're going to take the square of y, which is what? Y squared. So our expression factorized is going to be in brackets x plus y multiplied by, in brackets, x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay, now that we have factorized the expressions from our numerators and denominators, we have to we have to multiply the two fractions. Multiplying the two fractions, the numerator of the first fraction is going to be multiplied by the numerator of the second fraction, and the denominator of the first fraction is going to be multiplied by the denominator of the second fraction. Doing that, I'm going to have what? 3 multiplied by in brackets x plus y multiplied by in brackets x minus y multiplied by in brackets 2x minus y. Then we're going to divide this by 3 multiplied by in brackets x plus y multiplied by in brackets x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay, now we have to identify what is common in both our numerator and denominator. So we can see that in the numerator we have 3, even in the denominator we have what? 3, which means the two are going to cancel each other out. We also have what? In brackets x plus y in the numerator, and the same is present in the denominator. So we have to do what? Cancel the 2, and then we're going to be left with what? On the numerator we're going to be left with in brackets x minus y multiplied by in brackets 2x minus y, all this divided by x squared minus xy plus y squared. So this is how you simplify the expression. If you want, you can expand the expression that you have on your numerator. So in this case you have in brackets x minus y multiplied by in brackets 2x minus y. So expanding the expression, and don't forget here we are multiplying. When we expand, we're going to multiply a binomial by a binomial. So don't forget, when we multiply a binomial by a binomial, we're going to take the term from the first bracket, the first term from the first bracket, and then multiply it by all the terms in the second bracket, and when we're done we're going to take the second term from the first bracket and multiply it by all the terms that we have in the second bracket. Okay, doing that we're going to have x multiplied by 2x, which is what? 2x squared, x multiplied by negative y, which is what? Negative xy. Then when we're done, we have to go to the second term from the first bracket. We have to take it and multiply it by all the terms in the second bracket. So we're going to have negative y multiplied by 2x, which is negative 2xy. Then going to take negative y and multiply it by negative y, which will give us what? Positive y squared. So this will be divided, should be divided by x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay, we have to let's see if we have like terms that can be grouped. Yes, we do have like terms that we can group. In this case, our like terms are negative xy and negative 2xy. So the two can be added or subtracted since they are like terms. Okay, let's do that. We're going to have 2x squared negative xy minus 2xy is negative 3xy plus y squared, all this divided by x squared minus xy plus y squared. So this is how you simplify your expression. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is question letter C. Question letter C, the expression that is given to us is x squared plus 5x, x squared plus 5x plus 6, all this divided by 2x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 3 divided by x squared minus 9. Okay, uh, before we can multiply the two fractions, we have to factorize the expressions that we have in the numerators of our fractions and the denominators of our fractions. Okay, so from the first fraction, our numerator, the expression that we have in our numerator is x squared plus 5x plus 6. So to factorize this expression, we have to look for the factors of our constant. So our constant in this case is 6. So we're going to look for the factors of 6. So the factors of 6 are 1 times 6, 2 times 3. These are the factors that I can think of for now. So when we're done doing so, we're going to take a pair of factors that when added or subtracted, they're going to give us what? The coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x in this case is the coefficient of x in this case is what? Positive 5. So the pair of factors that when added or subtracted will give us positive 5 that we can work with in this case are 2 and 3. Don't forget, we have positive 5 and then our constant is positive 6, which means both the numbers that we have in our pair of factors have to be positive. Both of them have to be what? Positive. So the pair of factors that will give us positive 5 is 2 and 3. So we have to make all the numbers positive. Making all the numbers positive, we're going to have positive 2 plus 3, which will give us what? Positive 5. So which means our expression will be factorized as what? In brackets, we're going to have x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay, we're going to divide this by the expression that we have in the denominator of the first fraction is 2x plus 4. Okay, so this expression can be factorized by taking out a common factor. So taking out a common factor, our common factor is going to be positive 2. So we're going to have 2 multiplied by in brackets, to get 2x, we have multiplied 2 by x. To get 4, we have multiplied 2 by positive 2. So the expression factorized is 2 multiplied by, in brackets, x plus 2. Then we multiply this by on the second fraction, our numerator is x minus 3, which we're just going to leave as what? X minus 3. So the denominator is x squared minus y. So we have x squared minus y. So we have to factorize this expression. As you can see in this expression, you have a difference of 2 squares. Why do I say you have a difference of 2 squares? Because y is a perfect square. Y is a perfect square. It can be, I mean to say 9, pardon. 9 is a perfect square, which can be written as what? 3 squared. Okay, so our expression is x squared minus 9. The expression can also be written as what? X squared minus 3 squared, since 9 is a perfect square. So we have a difference of 2 squares, but then we don't necessarily have to do that. To factorize the expression, what we can simply do is just look for the factors of 9. The factors of 9 in this case, since 9 is a perfect square, we're going to look for a pair of numbers that are equal, that when multiplied, they give us what? 9, which are 3 and 3. Those are the factors that we're going to work with in this case. So the factors of 9 are 1 times 9, 3 times 3. So the pair of factors that we're going to work with in this case are 3 and 3. So we have to allocate our signs. As you can see in this case, the coefficient of x is 0. So when we allocate our signs, we have to allocate them in such a way that when the two numbers are added or subtracted, they're going to give us what? They're going to give us 0. So to do that, we're going to make 1. To do that, we're going to make one number positive and then the other one will be negative. Okay, in this case, we're going to have a positive 3 minus a 3, which will give us 0. Okay, so after we've done that, now we can factorize our expression. We're going to open our two brackets. Okay, in the first bracket, we're going to have x plus 3 multiplied by, in the second bracket, we're going to have x minus 3. Okay, and now that we have factorized our two we have factorized the expressions that we have from our numerators and denominators of our two fractions. We can multiply the two fractions. Multiplying the two fractions, the first denominator of the first denominator of the first fraction will be multiplied by the denominator of the second fraction. And the denominator of the first fraction will be multiplied by the denominator of the second fraction. Okay, so we're going to have in brackets x plus 2 multiplied by, in brackets x plus 3 multiplied by, in brackets x minus 3, all this divided by 2 multiplied by, in brackets x plus 2 multiplied by, in brackets x plus 3 multiplied by, in brackets x minus 3. Okay, after doing that, we're going to identify what is common in both denominator and numerator. Okay, so what is common is in brackets x plus 2 and in brackets x plus 3 and in brackets x minus 3. So we're going to cancel out what is common from both our numerator and our denominator. After doing that, in the numerator we're going to be left with 1 and in the denominator we're going to be left with what? With 2, which means our expression simplified is 1 over 2. Okay, that's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.